It has been months since I've actually played. Yeah. If you haven't noticed already, this is a lot different. So basically what happened was I started this uh and I figured, okay, I'm going to start making my base. And you also might notice how many vines there are. That's how long I was on this at some point after the first episode. And then eventually schoolwork got to me. I only found a couple times to play throughout the last like 2 to 3 months. And most of the time I spent grinding and I lost all my stuff 2 times. Literally because I died in some faraway cave and just couldn't find it again. I even found a deep dark biome and died down. How do I this. Anyways, so mainly what I'm gonna do this episode is take a different direction than I initially thought I would. So basically the plan is this is my starter area. That's all fine and dandy. You might notice that I have a bunch of spruce trees here, especially this giant one. This has been used for wood farming. But yeah, mostly my vision for this area is there's going to be road going down this I don't know what you call this, the kind of slope that goes around here to a village. Actually, oh my god, I found that village before recording this. Yeah, or recording anything, kind of. You know what I meant. There is actually a village over here, a birch village, which it's all nice. Shout out to repurpose structures. And basically, I went out of my way to explore a bunch of other villages. I went exploring this general direction. I found a lot of things, a lot of villages, especially from Choice Theorem's overhauled villages, which were very nice. Hopefully, I'll come across one of them again and display them. But most of it was resource gathering for a little let's build, I guess. Basically, continuing on what I sidetracked from, there's going to be a road going up here, and I'm going to have a bridge right about here. This is going to be the middle of the bridge, I believe. This is lined up correctly, because this should be lined up with the actual middle of that little flat facet. I don't know how to describe that, but you can tell that there's these flat walls into there. You'd think that this might be a little bit of a center to go for, but no. Turns out the center is actually like 2 blocks offset from the center of that little mound. Okay. What I'm looking at here is the road goes over here. Then there's a bridge across this river, which leads to another road, which I'll have maybe a little village thing. I may have detailed this in the first episode. I actually don't remember. And then in that, I can't see it from here, but that wall of the mountain, that face of the mountain, where that square hole is, that will be where my base of operations is. It's going to be hollowing out the mountain. Luckily, it looks like I have more to work with on the side. It's not going to be tall here, for sure. The problem is, by the time we get to the center, or the axis I'm trying to build off of, which is around here, the river bends. It's offset. Now, I would rather build as far off from the riverbank as much as I can and have the support structures like columns, not dipping into the water at all. Of course, I'm going to plug that up. But let's say this is the center right here. alignment. If this is gonna be 7 blocks wide, because the main road's gonna be 5 blocks wide. So we have 1, 2, 3. The only possible support structure I can fit in without dipping into this part of the water, the river, would be either here or here. And then that brings into question the symmetry on this side. Because of this whole thing. And that would involve counting out the sides. I guess I'll see how that goes along. But I did just have an idea. If I can't find a way to make it perfectly symmetrical or patterned, I could make an offset uh, design where there's column, 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 and the column that would otherwise be going into the river be supported by an archway going from that column to that column. Okay, first I should count this out. Okay. Shoot. I didn't realize I was going to have to do some geoengineering here. Huh. How did I not realize that? I guess what I'm going to have to do is dig this out into a little stone pathway and then raise it up gently into this so I can make the road. Which I just realized it's going to take a little more terraforming to really get. That's going to be interesting, but I think we'll cross that bridge when we'll get to it. What I'm thinking for this bridge is to have archways. So not just the archway I mentioned over the water, but just general archways with different layers. See, I don't know. Admittedly, I got this idea from an art class. So I didn't know what design exactly I was gonna do. I might have done it. I might have even done a basic one if it wasn't for this idea. I got inspired by Roman architecture, and basically, I've heard of Roman architecture before. I heard that they did canals and whatever, or not canals, but aqueducts. But then I heard about the I can't pronounce the name in French, the Pont du Arc, and I saw that it was a bunch of archways over each other with a line, a walkway underneath, and then above was another line, another floor that carried water into their French colonies. So I thought, oh, what if I do that but in the opposite? I have archways going over. It goes over the water, just like the Pont du Arc. And then I have the walkway on top, just as I lined out right there. And then a layer below where I carry water from from that left mountain where I have my home base into the right, and I could channel that into my future machinery because I have create on, and I do want to get into create a lot. And yeah, I mean that's the idea. I just gotta go off of that before I let me sleep, I guess. Okay, so that's kind of a relief. In segments of 5, these definitely work. So right now I got 5 over there, skip another 5, and then you go another 5 for pillars and that pattern over. The problem is there are 2 pillars directly into the riverbed. And I don't think there's actually a good way to fix that to my expectations. Because if I make it a 5 and then a 10 gap. Oh, hold on. So you have this 5, and then this 5 will be gone. Instead, starting here, this 5. And then you'd still be starting a pillar, except it's like more in the middle of the area, and that's not what I want. And 20 gap, that'd just be too much, I think. Now, the main problem is designing the archway. Now, when I thought about the archway, I thought that it would only span like maybe one pillar, but because this is right where the river bends, it's like two pillars. So the archway is going to go over the river and then some onto the land, which is going to look quite odd, but I'm willing to do it. Maybe a slab right there. Then stair. Oh man, if only I had scaffolding right now. Now perhaps I gotta add slabs to those stair levels. Where am I going? Then again, most of this detail is gonna be hidden anyways by the pillars, so it doesn't really matter too much. So most of the strengthening probably should be on the underside, if at all. It actually does look much better from this perspective. After a little bit of counting, reassuring, quality checking, I believe I got this uh archway symmetrical for sure. Still not 100% sold on the shape of the archway, but I'm pretty much mostly sure on it. Because it doesn't have to be perfectly arched, I guess, since, you know, this thing's supporting a whole freaking ton of bricks, stone bricks at that. And let me just make sure there's no creepers around me before I go F1 and stare at this. I think that as we scale it towards that 5 block width, because this is actually the middle section right here. This is just the middle. So as we add those two extra layers on each side, it will look stronger on its own, just naturally by its shape and dimensions. And if I need to do any more tweaking, that's not too hard to do. I mean, maybe just delete a block and add a block here and there in the future, but so far I don't see any need for that. So what I'm gonna do is replace all of this with stone bricks and build up as much as I can because I think despite my hours spent in resource gathering, I don't have enough. So we'll just have to see. And I guess I'll just complete this and you'll get to see it next time because I've already spent so long talking about it. Now it's the actual building part. And well, I will say the building part maybe the more boring part. It's probably the opposite. That's true. Either way, they're both going to be kind of slow and not really doing much. So, yeah, just to reiterate, I'm going to build this between episodes. And that's pretty much it. I'm kind of proud of this design so far. And next time, actually, you know what? I'm not going to complete it between episodes. Next time, I'll work on the archways and the two layers for the top part of the bridge. I'll just build up the pillars and archway in between. And that's actually kind of a nice split. So, yeah. See ya.